Smoke's first MLF experiences.
Plural. And Matt's big A.
I'm back.
Growing up on the water with fishing in their blood, Matt Arey and Bryan Thrift have spent the last 10 years competing against the biggest names in professional bass fishing. Their success has landed them ranked among the top anglers in the world. If you're looking to become a better angler, then this show has all the answers. Join us and follow along to get actionable tips, tactics, and tried and true techniques directly from the pros. Welcome to Let's Talk Fish.
Okay.
We are live.
I got my Corona shield.
We're back, and there's this weird thing going on beside me. Brian looks better than he's ever looked before. I can't put my finger on what it is.
Social distancing protection device. I just found it.
That brings those face masks to a whole new level.
You should wear that going down the lake next time you go fishing.
Just poke holes in the side and put me a big rubber band around it.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. It'd be perfect.
Oh, me. All right, so we've missed Smoke, and he's fished, believe it or not, three
events.
Three events since we've been back live, and I like that. Steven said, finally something on Facebook worth watching.
Did we figure out if that was accurate?
What?
Yeah, so y'all help us out. We were sitting here not arguing. We were discussing.
We can't remember if you talked about if you've been here since you followed.
Did I talk about Eufaula? Did we have a show after the Eufaula BPT?
I don't think.
I think we did. We may not have. But we'll talk about all three of them anyway.
Let us.
We got nothing else to do.
Yeah, y'all let us know in the comments if Thrift has talked about any of his MLF experiences this year.
Let's just talk about
sure
them all.
he hadn't.
Have y'all got anything else to do tonight?
No.
I got nothing.
We might as well just talk about all of them.
I'm fixing to pass. I'm just going to pass the show over that way. I might even play on Jeff's soundboard. No, I can't touch it. I can't touch it. No, they don't want that to happen. But don't forget, we do have a regular trivia giveaway at the end of the show. Hope everybody's staying home and staying safe. And before anybody asks, we don't know. We're not going to get into a big conversation about the coronavirus because Thrift didn't want to. Y'all can see plenty of that on the news.
Yeah,
but we don't know when either one of us will be fishing again. I did get the from Bass yesterday that the Eufaula event is also postponed. I have a feeling our Santee event will probably be postponed.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I doubt, and I'll be surprised if either one of us is fishing before at least May. Could be later than that. So
yeah,
we're kind of
Ryan
waiting.
Says he think we did talk about Eufaula. I feel like we
Ryan
did too.
Sharia says he thinks we did too.
Larry said he doesn't remember a show since. Well, the reason I think Eufaula might see we had that show with Brian
I remember
New.
bringing the big chatterbait in. I'm pretty sure I did.
Mike Harris. Did Thrift bring a big chatterbait into the show, y'all?
Maybe I did.
This is terrible. We can't remember anything.
It's been like 2 months.
Well, you're 40, so that's understandable, and so is Jeff.
And you've got way more gray hair than me.
But I'm not 40 yet.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Mike Harris, you need to put that comment up top.
What is it?
Just put it up top so Thrift can see it.
Thrift
and MLF so far, 2 top 10s in a Florida.
That's exactly right.
It's on the screen now.
We all have Floridas. I promise you that. We all have Floridas.
I always have a Florida. Sometimes I have a Florida in Alabama.
Caroline Reynolds is watching. Hopefully she's making me a cobbler right now.
Ooh.
I bet she's been
Allie made 2.
She is good at making cobblers.
Check this out.
Better than Leslie?
Woo. Not even close.
Sorry, I know you cook cobblers, don't you?
I hadn't cooked a cobbler in a long time.
But you cook.
I do cook.
You do some cooking.
Yeah.
We've never enjoyed.
There you go.
Have you ever enjoyed some of Jeff's cooking here before the show?
Yeah. Well, no, not before the show. I had some of his.
I've never had any.
I've had some of his hors d'oeuvres. That's a quote from my father-in-law there.
Some what?
Some of your hors d'oeuvres. At like Super Bowl gathering one time, and he kept for the dove hunt. He brought some goodies over.
That's true.
Remember?
That was good. That was good.
So
Allie made some delicious bread, homemade bread today.
I saw her post a picture.
It was good. I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich as soon as she got it out of the oven. It was delicious.
Somebody made a comment on her post that said, "You know what that's worth in today's world?
I know. That's what I
loaves
told
of
her.
bread. I know
Sell
Chris
it.
was thinking about setting him up a bread stand instead of a lemonade stand out in the front yard. You know he was. All right, so I'm gonna toss it over to Thrift. I'll try to throw you some questions in there so you don't have to follow the feed. But Warren Beer did ask. So we started a new tradition, which you're probably not even aware of. But if you look behind you there, Smoke, you'll see a couple autographs there. All right. Anybody that becomes a guest of the show in the studio.
Am I now a guest? Has it been that long I'm a guest? I'm no longer a host?
Yeah, well, yeah. You're still welcome as of now. But
it's been a while. I'll give you that.
Well, he did say have Matt, Brian, and Jeff sign the wall, so I guess all three of us need to sign the wall.
I guess
we need to
probably
sign the
do.
wall even though it's our wall, Jeff?
Yeah, because what we'll do is one day, maybe like 2 years from
We'll
now,
auction
it off for a charity. There you go.
50 signatures.
We can do that. We can do that for something like
we got a good track
like
record of off the cuff auctions during the show.
Yeah,
it's going to have to be a little while from now because I don't think 5 signatures are going to do anything.
No, we're going to have this thing covered, dude. Eventually, yeah, that'll be cool. Good idea, Jeff. You are good for something. That and running that soundboard. He's All right, so let's roll it over to Thrift and start with.
All right, so I think the
event.
consensus was we did talk about Eufaula, but just in case we didn't, we'll touch on it. So my very first Bass Pro Tour event, I finished second at Lake Eufaula.
Hold on a second, Smoke, before you get rolling. I just want to let y'all know, as he's talking about these tournaments, I'll be following the feed. If you have questions about any of these events,
shoot them in there.
What he was using, how he was using it, shoot them in there, and I'll address them and shoot them over to Thrift. Continue, sir.
Can I go ahead now?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Have
Jeff,
at it.
You're good to go now.
Okay. All right, so I finished second in my
Why are you asking Jeff?
I knew that was coming.
Hold on a second. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Oh, Lord have mercy. So you can talk about Eufaula now. It's no longer off limits since it's canceled.
No, it is off limits.
Oh, it is off limits.
But I mean,
y'all may make it up.
I mean, we've verified this is public information. You're talking to the fans. You're not giving me anything that anybody else in the Bass Elite Series cannot hear.
This is very true. Very true.
Simple as that. Don't be shooting waypoints and stuff. Don't make it too great for me. I know.
So Eufaula, I finished second, my very first Bass Pro Tour event, and that was my first taste of the format where you can weigh everything. And the 2 pound minimum, I feel like really helped me as far as the learning curve goes because it's kind of more similar to what I was used to with a 5 fish limit where you're trying to catch bigger than average fish. I mean, let's face it, pretty much anywhere in the country, a 2 pounder is a pretty good fish. So in that event, I caught them throwing a BTC 60 crankbait from Demiki and the, I can't even remember, Ghost Crawl and the school bus, which is called Blueback Duck now, I think. Those two colors. What?
School bus and blueback ducks.
Well, that's what they used to call it.
Okay.
The color. It's a chartreuse with a purple back, but now it's called a baby duck or blueback duck or something like that. It's a good square bill we just came out with in January. And then I caught them on a new prototype chatterbait that will be released in 2021 at the Bassmasters Classic from Z-Man. It's a bigger bladed chatterbait, thumps like crazy, and fish like it a lot. This is actually my second top 10 on that big bladed chatterbait. I actually did very well on it at Grand last year. Almost won a tournament on it. So it's proven. It's going to be a good bait. And the last day of the event, the water started clearing up, and I caught pretty much all my fish on a 1/2 ounce shooter jig, just a black and brown jig with a green pumpkin blue zoom big salty chunk on it. And that was Eufaula. So I feel like we talked about that, but I'm not real sure. So let's go on to, I guess we could just skip Okeechobee, couldn't we?
No, that's a lot.
No, you need to
lot to talk about at Okeechobee.
How you caught those.
My 2 bass at Okeechobee.
No comment.
What happened?
Continue, sir. Nothing.
No, what happened? Let's hear it.
Nothing.
What is it? I ain't talking no more till you tell me.
Nope.
We just go sit here and stare at each other.
Well, if I have to stare at you, at least pick that face back up.
I ain't doing it. I feel like y'all got secrets. I want to.
No, it's not.
We want to know the secret.
We'll tell you later. Trust me. Continue.
What's the inside joke?
There's not an inside joke. I promise you.
They got something. Something's brewing over here.
We're not. Something's always brewing.
All right. So Okeechobee. It's I think Matt will vouch for this. It's kind of a love-hate relationship. You're either in the top 10 or you're in the last 10. That's where I usually am.
Personally.
Do what?
think I've ever loved it personally.
Okay, Matt's never loved. I've loved Okeechobee like twice. It's the reason I'm a professional fisherman. I won my very first ever tournament.
We talked about that with Todd Alton because we were talking about Todd's such a good bladed jig fisherman. We talking about the history of the bladed jig, and how you ruined it for all the local guys when you went down there and won that tournament. No, I'm kidding, but yeah, we talked about that event. So well, anyway, Okeechobee, I pretty much finished last. I caught 2 scoreable bass over the 2 days I was allowed to fish, and that's pretty much all there is to say about it. I didn't miss any. I caught a couple short ones. Next.
I mean, I do have one good story about Okeechobee. So I was in Group B there, so I fished the second day. And we had our trailering policy in effect, which is awesome for a bass tournament, especially when you're fishing the Bass Pro Tour format, is if we have very bad weather, we can trailer to other designated ramps.
Oh, pansies.
Sorry.
To
put in.
I'm just kidding.
Well, it's better than sitting at home with a thumb up our butt like some trails have to do. So we have our trailering policy, and so we go put in, a bunch of people put in at the Harney Pond boat ramp, and we're all pulled up on the beach, whatever, waiting on 9:30 to get, or whatever, 7:30 so we could take off. And I've got my BTC 60 in my hand, and I asked my official if I can pitch it out beside the boat and make sure it's running straight.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. I pitch it out 5 feet from the boat and catch a 2.5 pounder. Before.
That thing works pretty good, too. The BT60 works pretty good, too.
Yeah.
I caught a couple on it last week.
Jeff caught a couple bass.
Did you really?
Yes.
Good deal.
We were out on the water
True
doing
story.
some top secret.
It's the only thing that he could throw that the fish actually could catch themselves on.
Well, that
pretty much.
That works. That works.
Pretty much.
So I actually caught 3 scoreable bass. Just one of them was before it was time to catch one. So Okeechobee, only 2 scoreable bass. And then we got to Lake Fork, which is where I just got back from. And, you know, what's not to love about Lake Fork? One of the best lakes in the country. I caught the biggest fish I've ever caught in a lake. I caught a 9.8 on the third day.
PB? You didn't screen PB?
Well, I caught a 10 out of a farm pond. So I've got 2 PBs.
Okay.
I've got a farm pond PB, and then I've got a impoundment lake personal best.
I think a person should separate those two.
Yes, exactly.
100%. That's just
Because
like a
most
high fence deer and a wild deer.
Exactly. You got them cornered.
All right, there you go.
All right, so
we agree on something.
On a lake personal best, a 9.8 I caught at Lake Fork. And I caught all my fish at Fork on 3 different baits. I was flipping 2 baits, a Demiki Knockout and Black and Red Flake, and a 4-inch Black and Red Flake tube. I was flipping the tube on a 7-foot heavy Fitzgerald Stunner rod, Revo STX reel, 20-pound P-line tactical fluorocarbon. But the only 2 differences in my setups, I was throwing the same rod, reel, and line on the Knockout as well, but I had different weights on them. And I wanted 2 different weights for different types of structures. So with the tube, I was flipping a 3/16 weight, and with the Knockout, I was using a 5/16. And the reason for that was when I was flipping really shallow and thinner cover, I would use the 3/16 with the tube. And when I was fishing a little bit deeper, say 3 to 5 feet, and a little bit thicker cover, grass and big gnarly trees and things like that, I would flip the Black and Red Demiki Knockout on the 5/16 weight. And anytime you're flipping in the springtime, I suggest having multiple setups, multiple Texas rigs, multiple flipping rods on the deck just for that situation, because there's some types of cover, if you use too heavy a weight or something like that, you'll get hung up a lot more than you will versus using a lighter weight. And also, you want to have your weight heavy enough that it's not going to set on top of the cover and not go under it. So if you're flipping a tree that's in 4 feet of water with a 1/8 ounce or 3/16 weight, that bait might set on the limb and never fall through to the bottom of where the fish are actually sitting. So you want to go to a little bit heavier weight when you're fishing a little bit deeper and a little bit thicker cover to make sure that bait gets down there to where the fish is at. And when you're fishing shallower, thinner cover, you can get away with that lighter weight. And I feel like that helps you get more bites, especially this time of year when those fish are up there spawning, even if they're spawning where you can't see them, which is what I was doing at Lake Fork. I mean, I don't think I seen another competitor the whole time I was at Lake Fork. I was in some dirtier water and flipping to fish that I knew were on the bed, but I could not visually see them. I just had to be methodical, flip every couple of inches all the way down the bank, and hope one of them decided to bite, and luckily they did a couple of times. And another pattern that I got on at Fork was catching them on a frog. I was throwing a white Spro frog, just throwing it on 50-pound P-line TCB X braid, my signature series Fitzgerald frog rod with a 8.0 gear ratio Revo STX, and that was my whole pattern at Fork, and revolved around those 3 baits. Now, yeah, I had 25 rods on the deck every day, but those are the 3 baits I threw all the time. I'm trying to think. I weighed a couple.
You had 18. I counted them, by the way.
Was that it?
18.
Well, that's not in the co-angler hole.
I
had
didn't. Oh, we couldn't
6
see that
over
on the camera. You had 18 on the front deck.
Yeah, so I had 18 on the front and 5 or 6 over in the passenger seat. But I did catch. Let's see. I know I caught 3 scoreable bass on the BTC 60, and I think I caught 1 on the big bladed chatterbait as well. But other than that, every other fish came on the knockout, a tube, or a frog.
So you answered a lot of these questions, and I'm gonna cut in on you.
Taking
every
a breath
once in a while.
yet?
When dude, he's rocking, man, and I'm loving it.
Roll.
Yeah.
Which P-line
I
products
got to
were
keep
you
talking
using?
so the corona don't invade me from that.
When
When you're talking, you're blowing air out. Ain't nothing coming in.
Well, don't breathe in by whatever you do. Joe Johnson want to know what P-line products you were using. You pretty much addressed
Yes,
those.
and I'm going to show you a cool little trick here in a little bit when we get done with the tournament recap. But this is P-Line Tactical. That's the fluorocarbon I was using. And the braid I was using was a P-Line TCB X braid. And another cool thing coming up the whole month of April is P-Line's running a special on the Tactical, buy one, get one free. You can find it at pretty much all your retailers online. You can find it at Sportsman's Warehouse, sportsmans.com, any place like that. The whole month of April, P-Line Tactical, buy one, get one free.
Yeah, and we'll be posting about that on our social too, closer to the time. Let people know.
So that's coming up here in another week or so.
And they can still do that online, is my understanding.
Yes.
With any retailer that's participating. So,
yep.
Stephen Bono said he saw you drinking a Mountain Dew at You Follow. What's up with that? Do they not have Sun Drop there?
No, they don't. It's like I always take a 6-pack with me, but usually it's gone by the time the tournament starts.
Like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I make it last. I ration it out 2 a day. I get 1 in the morning and then 1 sometime throughout the day.
You ration it out.
I have to ration the Sun Drop.
Stephen Leonard had a good question, and I thought about this too. Score tracker updates. Like it, hate it, don't care about it. What's your take?
I like it and don't care about it at the same time.
Only Thrift would say
sense.
that. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
All right, let me explain here. All right, I like it from the aspect of I know if fish are biting, and if I'm not catching them, I need to change or go to a different location or do something because I'm not around them. Because you'd be amazed just at that score tracker how it'll be dead for an hour or two, and then all of a sudden the whole field's lighting them up. And if once the whole field starts lighting them up, if you're not getting bit, you know you need to change. You're not around any fish. But on that aspect also, if it's kind of a slower period, I don't really pay it any attention when people do go to catching them because I'm still going to do my own thing. It doesn't really influence, exactly what I'm going to be doing other than if I haven't had a bite and everybody's catching them, I'm going to obviously go somewhere else. But, once I get settled down into an area and I'm comfortable and I know there's fish there, I could care less what's going on in the score tracker.
All right, let's see here. Brandon Hobbs wants us to stream live to YouTube. I don't know. That's something. Oh, something else we didn't mention.
We're going to.
Jeff said we're working on that in the future. In the meantime, all the shows are archived to our YouTube channel. If you hadn't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe because if you want to watch them visually, like you guys are right now, that's the way to watch them. Now, anybody that's on another page, guys, be aware that if you want to engage, ask questions, and be a part of the show and be eligible for the trivia giveaways at the end of each and every show, if you're watching it on my page, if you're watching it on Thrift's page, if you're watching it on the Titan Tungsten page, on the Basscasters page,
Topwater blow-ups.
Groups,
Titan groups, LTF groups.
Yep, it's on a lot of other pages, okay? But if you're not on the LTF Facebook page itself, we are not seeing your comments. We cannot address your comments, and you also won't be eligible for the trivia giveaways. Keep that in mind, okay? So moving forward, because, I'll go home, and it never fails. I'll go home, and I'll log on to my Facebook page, and I'll see the show that was cross-posted to my page, and I'll see 150 comments on there, and I'm sure Thrift sees the same thing.
I do.
So if you want to be part of the show, be sure you're on the LTF page. We just cross-post to give people other opportunities and platforms to watch the show on. But to participate, you got to be on our page. All right. Cargo pants pattern at Fork, Mark Carlson said.
Where at?
Somebody did ask if the Stinger's going to be a big player.
Where?
In MLF. Well, I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, well, once it's time, it's going to be.
Yep.
I hope. For my sake, it is.
Scott Fell said he hears there's another trail coming out next year. There is a launch of what we haven't really talked about it. It's the national.
Oh, I think I did hear.
NPFL, National Professional something league. So I don't know a lot of the details about.
Really low payout.
Yeah, it's 6 events. It's spread out throughout 12 months. I don't know a lot of the details, but you can go online and search. I believe it's National Professional Fishing League, if I'm not mistaken, and you can find all the details. I think they have a website launch and all that stuff. That being said, as far as I'm aware, Brian will be at MLF. I will be at Bass Leaps, and we will continue on our way. Farm ponds don't count. Tony Lawson said, "Well, they count.
Well, that's why
they count in the farm pond category.
Yeah, it's farm pond category. See, I got a 10-8 in the farm pond category, and I got a 9-8 in the impoundment lake reservoir category."
Sam said he's hunted non-high fence deer that still had a fence. I'm confused.
Matt Waldron asked what rod I was using for my frog. I was using my Signature Series Fitzgerald frog rod. It's a 7.2 medium heavy, and it's absolutely perfect for frog fishing. I mean, whether you're skipping it under docks, dragging them over grass mats, it's got the power to do it all, and it's got a soft enough tip where you can still skip it under docks and lay downs and walk it like you want to. You don't have to trim the legs shorter. It'll still walk.
You mean one shorter than the other? So while we're on that subject, Jeff.
What's the subject? I didn't hear you.
He's talking about trimming one leg shorter than the other. So we had a little instance when I was down in Alabama.
We've been holding this for
We've been holding this just for y'all.
So this is what y'all are giggling about?
No.
Okay.
Well,
that was totally different.
So we've been holding this little video clip for our viewers and our fans and Thrift, especially. We've been waiting for him to get back.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
You have to preface it. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll preface it. So Thrift and I got into a debate, not a heated argument, and we didn't throw fists or anything about it, trimming frog legs. But we got to talking about it one day, and some people sided with me, and a lot of people sided with Thrift. And I think they just looked at his career earnings and said, well, he must be better than Matt, so they just sided with him anyway. So that being said, we got into a debate about throwing a frog, and if a guy had never thrown a frog before, if you trim one leg shorter than the other, does it help the frog turn easier? So would it help a rookie who's never walked a frog before? Would it help him? So we took a little 30 seconds out of our day when we were down at Eufaula and asked this fella what his advice would be to somebody first time walking a frog.
God. And I already know who you got the advice from, and you can throw this out.
And Jeff can show you the clip. So y'all enjoy the clip.
Let's see if I can.
Is Thunderfoot in any way, shape, or form involved in this?
Absolutely. Thunderfoot? We were in Alabama. No,
absolutely. Oh, okay, Alabama.
Thunderfoot has nothing to do with this.
All right, let's see what happens.
All right, ask the question again.
I don't see it.
No, ask the question again.
No,
all right, Kevin.
I still don't see nothing.
I have a kid that's never thrown a frog before. What's the easiest way to make it walk?
Nothing's happening, Jeff. I'm going to keep answering questions so we're not sitting here looking like idiots.
No, you're muted right now.
Well, I feel like we're sitting here looking
he wasn't muted. He was talking the whole time.
You're going to have to show it again then.
Did y'all hear that, or I'm going to show it one more time?
I can't hear nothing.
I don't know. You'll get it in a minute.
I mean, I see the video, but I can't hear it.
Scott Fell said if you trim one leg off, it'll go in circles.
Mine's froze. I got no idea what's happening here.
So you have to play it again. Hang on, it's coming again.
All right, ask the question again.
I'm not asking the question.
No, ask the question again.
All right, Kevin. I have a kid that's never thrown a frog before. What's the easiest way to make it walk for him? cut a 1/4 inch or more off one leg at a time.
All right, now there you have it.
There you go. Now we're getting responses.
I don't know what
So
it is.
we're gonna let Thrift look at it.
Oh, he don't know.
He said he don't know. All right, there you have it. We've been saving that one, Thrift.
So what does that mean?
That means that if you cut a little bit off of one leg, it'll walk easier.
No, it does not.
That's exactly what he said. I'm just telling you. That's what the man said.
Well, it don't matter.
We didn't pay KVD a dime to say that, Ryan. How dare you?
That doesn't matter. He don't throw a frog anyway. He cranks. Everybody knows that.
He cranks.
I mean, I guess he files one side of his crankbait a little thinner so it'll kick harder to one side.
Yeah, well,
Does that make sense? No.
All right, Doug. Okay, he talked about you answered that question to Doug Mosley about your rod for Texas rig.
Yeah, there's a good question. Why did KVD look so annoyed in that clip? Why were y'all hounding Kevin?
I think he was drunk. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Had to get him drunk so he'd tell us what we wanted. No, I'm kidding. No, we were all eating dinner at that little. I don't know what that place was down there. Downtown Eufaula. It's good.
So let us know in the comments. Is it a fact or is it a myth? What do you think? Just let us know in the comments.
Everybody knows it's a myth.
Well,
Everybody.
We'll
KV who?
See, Kevin is a crankbait guy. That's exactly right.
All right. Let's see. Have you enjoyed fishing against some of your buddies you hadn't fished with in a while?
I am
wanted to know
loving
that.
I'm absolutely loving that. You know,
who'd you miss the most out of that crew over there?
Man, everybody. Like, I don't think there's any one, but my rookie year on the FLW tour.
Who are you rooming with?
Luke Clausen.
Okay, you're rooming with Clausen.
Yeah, me and Clausen are staying together. But my rookie year in 2007, Andy Montgomery was a rookie that year. Ott Defoe was a rookie that year. And me and Ott, actually, that was the first time we'd ever met, was at Lake Travis in 2007 in our first ever FLW tour event. And we both made the cut there. So we actually went and hung out and went out to eat a couple times, and we've been friends ever since. So it's just great to get back to seeing a lot of guys that I haven't seen in 8 or 9 years, you know. And it's been fun. It's been very fun.
Yeah, we all have friends all over the place now, and that was one of the downfalls when the industry kind of split, and some of the organizations split, is that we all kind of had to go our separate ways. For the most part, everybody's buddies out there, and
yeah,
that's I mean, that's why we enjoy some of these shows and things like that, because we get to see everybody.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, you go to the Classic or what was the Cup and or any of it, and get to see everybody you don't get to hang out with most of the year.
Mm-hmm. So Alan Coe wants to know, now that everything's on hold right now, what are we going to do? Well, I know the Norman night tournaments are still kicking, but I
ain't fishing at night.
Thrift ain't fishing
that
at
ain't
night.
happening.
If that answers your question, Alan, the Moss Lake Thursday nighters.
Yeah, they shut those down.
Those are shut down for now.
They shut down the Moss Lake Thursday nighters.
Basically, all the tournaments around the area, for the most part, all the team circuits, the Big Bass deal that was supposed to be at Norman was canceled. So everything.
And that's going with what everybody's saying. I mean, you don't want a large group of people gathering, I guess.
You can still get out and go fishing and enjoy the lake. But
get out, go fishing. Turkey season's coming up. Lots of stuff to do in the outdoors.
Now, we might do that, Ryan. We might do a 1v1.
I think I'm going to let Matt talk me into going turkey hunting. But
what y'all think? Y'all think Smoke should try turkey hunting for the first time in his life? I've been trying to talk him into it.
I've been like twice.
Oh, you have been? I thought you never been.
I have. I killed one with a S10 when I was in high school. That's the only one I've ever killed.
I killed one with the F-150 in high school.
Was it a longbeard?
It was.
Was it?
It was.
Was yours a longbeard?
And this was back when there wasn't a lot of turkeys around the area. And I actually put it on back of the truck, and Grandpa cooked it.
Oh.
So
that's illegal.
Was it really?
Highly illegal. Yeah.
Well, it did not go to waste. I don't care.
Now then, I don't know, but all right. So if any game wardens are watching, Thrift, GB Blanton Road, go find him. Write him. I don't think they really care that much. So no. I'm kind of glad you picked it up. I'm in agreement.
I mean, I don't want to see it go to waste.
No, when somebody hits a deer, you know, you're not legally supposed to move it based on your state regulations, but I would much rather see it put to good use. I will tell you a funny story. I'm not going to name the guy who did it because this is illegal too, but he actually hit a red-tailed hawk with his truck and killed it.
How's that illegal?
Let me finish.
No.
He took it to his local taxidermist.
That is illegal.
And wanted to get it mounted, and the taxidermist looked at him kind of sideways. And he didn't know he was doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
But, dude, that would have been cool to have a red-tailed hawk mounted.
That would have been cool.
We got a bald eagle in the house.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Coming down to pick up like a harp seal or something. Yeah. Or what else is endangered around here?
Taylor Lawson said, I won't do it because I can't hunt from the side of my house. That is wrong. Because
that's wrong, too. He's got long beards in his driveway.
Last year, I had one in the yard, and I went in the house. I got my shotgun out. I went out in the field beside the house, and my wife and my sons came driving through the field on the golf cart and ran him off. So,
you sent me a picture or a video of a long beard going through your yard.
Yeah, it's a big one.
I think. Reed Finley said you'll shoot his tail feathers off.
I may. If that's all I can see.
We're gonna. Do you know where to shoot a turkey? Let's go over turkey hunting 101.
Well, it's a shotgun that got a pattern like that.
No, I just asked
shoot him in the face.
You have to shoot him between the neck and the head. Don't shoot him right here. He'll fly off.
I know that.
Okay, I'm just making sure. We're just going to clarify some things.
Speaking of that, who saw Matt's? Where did you put that video we shot the other day? In your Instagram stories?
You put it on the LTF story, I think. Oh, I put it on Facebook. I put it on my Facebook page. Yeah, I had one going, dude. There was one strutting beside the road.
I've seen a bunch of them.
Called him all the way to the truck.
Called the hen to the truck. She crossed the road in front of us, and the gobbler chased her. I'm talking about the
I seen a bunch today.
The hen was calling. She was talking back to me. Ricky McKinney, to answer your question, are the lakes at Bass Fish still off limits? So Eufaula is definitely still off limits. They lifted the off limits from Chick. I'm not sure yet. I kind of feel like, and I may be jumping the gun here, but if Eufaula, Chick, and Santee all end up being postponed, I see it being a tough task for them to make up all three. They could eventually end up canceling Chick altogether because that was the second reschedule we'd already had for Chickamauga. They're definitely going to try to reschedule Eufaula, I know for a fact. And if they do have to postpone Santee, I know they're going to try to reschedule it also. Our next event's not...
That could be a scary one. Like if they reschedule Santee for like...
Something?
Yeah.
Oh, scary would be an understatement.
Yeah, that could be...
And I wouldn't call it scary as much as just trying to get a bite, you know?
Right.
Just trying to get... Just that guy... I've always said Santee is one of those lakes that is the best lake in the country.
Patrick Walker's probably
2 months
show
out
out if it's not in the springtime.
No, I agree. I think a local advantage could be huge if it's not a March-April tournament. So, yes. Larry said he hit an owl with his Chevy Blazer one afternoon.
There you go.
All right. Mark Carlson said you should have got that baby seal that you stole in college mounted.
I didn't steal it. We caught it.
I don't know, Steven, if a turkey will still be edible after Thrift puts 97 holes in it. Well,
how many pellets are in a shotgun shell?
Not 97.
How many pellets is in a 3-inch shotgun shell?
You never had a Swiss turkey?
Yeah.
Swiss turkey.
It's delicious.
Yeah. I don't know. I shoot 3.5-inch number 5, so I don't know the pellet.
I don't have any shells. You have to get me. I got some double aught bucks.
Can you shoot 3.5s?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you had a gun that shot 3.5.
I guess I can. I don't know. I got a Benelli. Will it shoot them?
Dylan Smith had good advice for turkey hunting. Don't use the Creedmoor.
Okay. Yeah, that's illegal. I do know that. I know
you can
that's
borrow
illegal.
my Benelli if you need. Matt, it's at Matt's house. It
Dude,
stays over there.
You know what I got to looking at today?
What?
And y'all might laugh. Are you a fan of Tim Wells? Do you know who Tim Wells is?
I do not.
Do you know who Tim Wells is?
Nope.
All right. I'm sure some of our viewers that hunt know who Tim Wells is. The guy that he's got a show and he kills stuff with a spear and like a blowgun and stuff.
Oh, now
I've
I've heard of this guy, but I didn't know his name. Yeah.
I think I'm going to order one of his blowguns, dude, with those big darts with the broadheads on the end.
Didn't he
I don't know if it's legal in North
kill
Carolina.
himself in Africa or something? Was that something?
Yeah, he speared himself by
accident. I heard about
fell
that.
on his spear or something. Yeah, he almost bled to death. But this dude's killed a bear. I watched it on YouTube. He killed a bear with a blowgun.
What did you shoot him?
That's pretty impressive.
It was pretty sweet. Dude.
That's
Where
pretty.
did you shoot him?
He shot him right behind his little shoulder. Now I don't know if the thing was a poison tip or something, but
How
dude,
big was the bear if he had a little shoulder?
couple hundred. I said right behind his shoulder. Right
You
there.
said his little shoulder.
It's a little broadhead. Well, I mean, there's no bear that's little in my
I
book.
immediately thought, I said, well, I could probably kill a baby bear with a blowgun.
Yeah.
He said little shoulder.
Mark McWaw said Tim Wells is bad. I told you these people know. They know who Tim Wells is.
Does he have an air compressor attached to his blue gun?
No, he does not.
Okay, well,
this thing is pretty. Stephen Guthrie said, I hit a goose with a Kenworth. He said, I'm wondering if we should do a survey on here and see what's the weirdest thing you've ever hit with your vehicle.
Well,
I
think you just did
Let's
it.
find out. Let's
What's the
find
weirdest
out.
thing you've ever hit with a vehicle?
Mine's terrible.
Matt hit me with a goose in a bass boat.
I did hit Thrift.
How about that?
I tell you the weirdest animal. I don't know how we got on this
That's
conversation.
why I don't fish at night anymore.
Were you done with the tournament wrap up, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
I think so.
Yeah, guys, if you do have any questions, in all seriousness, about any of Tim Wells is not the Bryan Thrift of hunting.
He's below me.
No, I think he meant to compare the Bryan Thrift of fishing to Tim Wells of hunting. Okay, sorry, I misread that, but yes, Charles that's an accurate statement. Seagull with a Triton, we got that.
If by that, I've never tried to kill myself with a fishing rod. If he tried.
Yes, you did. There's a video of that online.
I did. I smacked myself in the head.
YouTube Thrift's
I forgot about
greatest
that.
hook set of all time.
All my hook sets look like that. That just happened to be the one that hit me in the head.
Oh, me. All right, so what were we talking about? Oh, I tell you what I did. Jeff was playing golf with me, too, that day. Were you with me playing golf?
I don't even know what you're talking
about. When I hit that cardinal on my drive?
You hit what?
I don't know. I don't have a very good memory.
So, dude, I'm at Deerbrook. Joe Reynolds was playing. So I'm at Deerbrook, and I'm teeing off, right?
Yeah.
And I hit a drive, and I kid you not, dude, in the air, this cardinal, bright red cardinal.
You killed it.
Flying across the fairway. My ball hit the cardinal in mid-flight. My ball deflects and kind of goes down, and the bird just goes, whoom, dead as a doornail. What are the odds?
You ought to be ashamed of that.
Joe Gentry hit a building. He hit a building one time. He said it didn't move.
I got a birdie, though.
I knew that was coming.
No, true story, though. I did kill a cardinal out of the air. I felt bad. I'm like, what are the chances of that? KG said he's hit a turkey, a seagull, a buck.
I've hit like 7 deer.
Tony?
I've hit a bunch of deer.
I've never hit a deer with a vehicle in my life.
You're done.
I don't think that's wood, so I guess I am done.
It's close enough. It looks like wood.
Tony Lawson said a bat hit him in the head on the boat one time.
We've almost had that happen at Moss several times.
We got one wrapped up in my line one day.
Yes, we did.
And I told you
I wouldn't touch it. Yes.
You didn't know what it was at first, though.
No.
A bat somehow flew into my line. We were fishing a night tournament, which Thrift loves. And it got wrapped up in my line, and I thought it was a leaf. Like, I thought my line was
like
and I told
wings will look like a leaf.
I told Thrift it wasn't really moving at first.
Yeah.
And I told Thrift to lean down there and get that leaf off my line.
Jump out of the boat,
dude. He got down there and for a second. He was about to do it, and then he said, "Dude, that's a bat." And then it started flopping around and stuff. But anyway, it got it. Lindsay Black hit a coyote in her.
My
Camry.
wife hit a coyote one time.
She killed it.
She did kill it.
Good.
And what was bad, this is how my wife is. So this is when we hadn't been married but a year or two. We didn't have kids yet. She was teaching school. And she hit it on the way to school. And she thought it was somebody's dog in the neighborhood that she goes through going to school, going to work. Mm-hmm. So she calls me at like 10 after 7 and makes me get up and go drive down here and look at this dog and try to find the owner and tell them she hit their dog. Thank God it was a coyote and I didn't have to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So I went and found it and it was a coyote and she was happy. Or she wasn't happy she killed the coyote, but she was happy it wasn't somebody's dog.
Logan Reynolds hit 3 owls and a buzzard with a Yukon. Buzzard through the windshield of Brandon Hurdle's car.
Now that's a story right there.
Matt hit a cop with a Ranger.
Matt didn't hit a cop with a Ranger. Cop hit Matt with his Ranger. Cop hit Matt's Ranger.
That was good.
Yeah. that
was
funny,
good.
Reed. All right. Any more questions about Thrift's last 3 events? I saw some earlier, but I didn't. That's
I
funny.
seen one about the Fitzgerald skipping rod. Let me see if I can find it.
Yep.
What is the BT60? I've seen it a couple times.
Oh, yeah, there it is. There's Daniel Walters wants to know what the BT60 is.
All right, the BTC 60 is a new fat body crankbait I did not design for Demiki. and it just came out and came for sale in January. It's just an awesome little fat-bodied square bill. It'll run 3 to 5 feet and just thumps hard, comes through cover great. It's a good crankbait. It kind of acts more like a balsa bait. It floats really high, doesn't have a rattle, and it gets bit pretty good. Jeff caught some on it. Matt did too. Matter of fact, the first time me and Matt went, when I got it, he actually stole a couple from me. He
me
won't
and
admit
Matt
it.
T-shirt.
We actually have video of the first time you fished it.
Do we?
Yeah, we were doing tip videos that day.
Yep.
That day, me and you caught him on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
But that'll be part of our. By the way, we want to talk about that.
Sure.
We've been utilizing our off time, and we'll continue to do so. That we are putting together some really, really cool videos for y'all. A lot of tip and technique videos, some secret tips from the pro videos, lure modifications, all kinds of cool stuff, guys. So that is in the works, and we've been talking about this deal for a while now. We just trying to find the time to build all the content to where we can give you guys the opportunity.
We got to get content.
That's right, and we'll be working more on that in the coming weeks. So keep an eye
I've even
out.
got a sample tonight of the type of content you're going to see that I'm going to do here in a little bit. Matt told me to save it, but I'm going to give it a little taste. What do
Give
you
them a
think?
little taste.
A little taste, just what they can expect.
And this would fall under the secret lure modification category.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I don't know what time we getting up to.
We got
Jeff?
7:42. You want to go ahead and do it?
Yeah,
right.
rock on. So
Let's dive into the secret lure modification.
All right, so hang on.
Hang on, Jeff's going to do something.
I'm going to get my camera.
Yeah, we'll have to pull the camera in a little tighter to Thrift there
I'll
so
get
they
my
can see
phone
it.
on the feed. Give me 1 second.
All right, I'm going to prepare it, and then we'll be ready to rock.
Guys, don't forget, I know I got a message yesterday actually talking about some of the LTF gear. Somebody's wanting a hat. Keep in mind we still have a pretty decent inventory of hats and shirts right now, and you can go. Oh, and Jeff just launched a pretty cool, I didn't even know about it, but your engraved LTF tumblers just went live.
Yeah, they're
on the LTF gear deal.
Yeah.
LTFgear.com. We've got some new LTF tumblers in stock. Pretty cool. And are you ready, Jeff? Or you want to come around?
While
Okay,
Jeff,
all right.
while Jeff's getting ready, I'm gonna answer the question. I forget who asked it about my skipping rod. They asked if I ever use it for flipping because they don't like a really long flipping rod, and I do use my skipping rod some for flipping. It's my signature series Fitzgerald skipping rod. It's 6'9" heavy action. I use it, and I use the 7-foot heavy action Fitzgerald stunner rod a lot also when I'm pitching wood and stuff where I'm pretty close quarters. All right, Jeff's ready.
Let me do something real quick.
Matt's gonna do something. Real quick.
Well, I just saw Michael said I skipped over an apology from a guy, and I know what this is about. But Will, yeah, dude, I accept your apology. But so Will is a fella, and if you look back at the comment, it said, "Hey guys, I was fishing a tournament during Matt's practice in the Classic. He's running out of a little inlet in the creek headed towards the bank. The sun was in his eyes, and as soon as he hit the shade, Matt was sitting right there waving his arms at me, screaming." And so Will was the guy that almost ran me over down there in practice at the Classic, and he said that was the closest call I've ever had while fishing. Not sure how close I got, but, man, it was scary. So glad nothing happened. He sent me a message, and I do appreciate that, Will, and just stay safe on the water, guys. Always keep an eye out for other anglers, and I'm glad you saw me, Will, at the last minute there.
You know, speaking of stuff like that, I mean, that you never know how quick that can happen. Like, we had something similar happen at the Lake Okeechobee event with Russ Lane. He was just fishing.
Oh, yeah, I saw his post.
He was fishing, setting
got
still,
plowed.
and got hit by a boat running 60 miles an hour. So, it's with as many people there are on the water right now, you got to slow down sometimes.
Yep, take it easy out there, y'all. Be safe. Better safe than sorry.
All right, to the modification from the Jeff
You're
Cam.
holding a cell phone, Jeff.
What? We need to come up with a name for this. All right, so I'm going to show you. Do I still need to talk into the mic, or you go? All right, still into the mic. So what I'm going to show you is how to make any swim bait a line through swim bait. It doesn't matter what you're using. I've got the 4-inch Demiki Armor Shad here, which is a great little finesse swim bait I use a lot when pressured fish, clear water. And I'm going to show you how to make it into a line through swim bait. Shallow water, skipping it under docks when you're fishing it in, 2 feet of the surface. this is what I do. So I normally use 15-pound P-line tactical fluorocarbon when I'm doing this with the small bait. As I go to a bigger bait, a 5 or 6 inch, I will beef up the line to 20-pound tactical. But what I've got, a big needle. I bought it at Walmart some time ago. That's the package it came in. But I just take a big needle and thread my line through the eye of the needle. Some people do this and use a rivet, but I don't like to do that because I first started out using a rivet to put my line through to stick in the head of the bait. And sometimes that rivet's aluminum. It'll have a sharp edge, so it'll put a bad place in your line and you have to keep re-rigging. But all you do is thread your line through your needle and then go through the head of the bait just like you would with your any type of worm hook. See if I can do this without sticking it through my finger. And just stick your needle through there, pull it through, pull your line through the bait. So I've got my line going through the bait now. I've got a Berkeley Fusion 19 treble hook. This is a number 4. So I take my treble hook out of the package. Got a mess going here. Tie it on. I don't use a split ring. I've seen a lot of people use a split ring, and I don't do it because it makes the hook hold off the bait funny. Like it doesn't let that hook set right up close to the bait like I like. Let me get some more line pulled off here. So I just tie a Palomar knot, and you can tie any knot you like, whatever's the easiest for you, whatever you're comfortable using. But I always use a Palomar when I'm throwing fluorocarbon with the P-line tactical. So I just Palomar my hook. And then I don't have any clippers, so I'm going to bite the line, but that's probably not good to be doing. So I've got my line going through my bait. I've tied my treble hook on. Then you simply pull that back up through your bait. And what I like to do is pull a little bit of the eye inside the bait. So I'll find my hook point. I want 2 hooks sticking down and 1 hook inside the bait. So I'll pull my line up in there. And now I've got a line through swim bait. If I want to add a little bit of weight to it, I'll take a Demiki nail weight and just stick one right in the head of the bait, right on the side there. And you can add up to an 1/8 ounce of weight to it. Let that bait stay down 2 or 3 feet. Still be able to wind it pretty fast. But that little trick right there, you can make any swim bait into a line through. Just carry a needle with you and thread it through there and do whatever you want with it.
Thrift, before you move, Jeff, Thrift, answer this question for
All right, we got a question.
For Jeremy. He said, why not, and you kind of just answered it, why not just buy a line through swim baits? There's more than enough swim bait companies that make them from 3 to 8 inches. Tell them why.
The reason that is because every swim bait swims different. I really like the Armor Shad for a smaller swim bait doing this, and pretty much I get these for free. I mean, they're one of my sponsors. It's a Demiki bait, and it's a great swim bait. So that's what I use, and it swims very good. It's actually by line throwing a bait instead of using a jig head or something like that, you get a lot more head rock, a lot more movement from the tail, and it just makes that bait come to life so much more. You can wind it slower, keep it in the strike zone because you don't have as much weight in it. And not many people are throwing a small swim bait like this on a line through or up high in the water column. I mean, there's great swim baits out there. I mean, Lunker Hunt makes a great one that Matt helped design, but it's a bigger profile, bigger body swim bait. It's probably 4 times the size of that. Mm-hmm. And I would feel like I could go behind most people that are throwing swim baits like that and catch them on a swim bait like this 4-inch Demiki Armor Shad up shallow, high in that water column. So anytime fish get ready to start spawning from, well, right now, essentially through post-spawn, end of May, when you've got fish shallow hanging under boat docks, fishing around a shad spawn, that little Armor Shad line through will get you a lot of bites. So one little tip, I hope that helps you, and this is what you can look forward to on our new deal we're going to come out with pretty soon. A lot of cool things like this that you didn't know you wanted to know, but you do want to know.
Now that is valuable advice. All right, so that's a great tip, dude. And a lot of Daniel Jones said, thanks, awesome tip. Couple questions. So Ott won a tournament on the Mississippi River, and if I'm not mistaken, he was taking a Kitech type paddle tail swim bait, and he turned it into a line through. That goes back to Thrift's point, is that guys don't get tunnel vision on the swim baits that they offer as line throughs up there.
You can do it with any swim bait.
Any swim bait on the market, you can make a line through, and that's a big deal.
And I've really never experimented with other baits. I mean, you might could do it with anything. I mean, you might could do it with a worm or anything. I mean, kind of the options are endless as to what you could do with this technique. I mean, if you got a bait you want to keep shallow, that you're not fishing around heavy cover where you're going to get hung, I mean, that's the perfect way to fish it in that up high in the water column type scenario.
Logan Taylor said if you don't put something inside the swim bait and want it to tear every time you catch a fish, he uses a small whiskey straw instead of rivets.
I do not, because that bait's going to slide up your line most of the time anyways, and it doesn't really matter.
And that can vary by the bait.
Right, it can vary by the bait. I mean, the softness of the plastic, how much salt's in it, all kind of different things will affect, how easy a bait tears. But I've always been the person that I don't care if the bait does tear up. If I catch a fish on it, it's a good bait, and I'll get another one and go catch me another fish.
So here's an interesting comment from Matt. He said, is it okay to put the hook on the top instead of the bottom to keep from getting snagged and hook the fish in the top of the mouth?
It is. You can do that. I personally never do that. I always rig it up on the bottom.
There are some swim baits that it will affect the action.
It will. It can affect the action. But by having that weight on the bottom of the bait, just the weight from that hook keeps that bait running straight where it doesn't want to tilt to one side. When you run your line through on a finessey swim bait like the 4-inch Armor Shad, if you line through it and put the hook on the back, you've got to make sure you've got everything balanced out equally, or it's going to make the top of that swim bait kick over to one side, and the swim bait's going to run crooked instead of run straight through the water. Whereas if you've got that hook on the belly of the bait that acts more like a keel, and your center of gravity is more equalized, so the bait doesn't roll to one side versus the other, and it'll come through the water straight.
Correct. All right, so I just got a text from Neil Paul. Gave me a little inside information. My assumption may end up being correct about Chickamauga not being rescheduled. So that may end up being a complete postponement or a complete cancellation. I imagine anything else that gets postponed from here on out with bass will be rescheduled. Probably the same with MLF. So
right.
It was funny. James Bryant said he gets them free anyway.
I do.
All right. Hal Absher, hey Hal, thanks for watching. Said, doesn't know if this has been asked, but what are you hearing about ICAST? And yeah, Hal, it's good to see you at the Classic, and thanks for the congrats. Hopefully we can have a better showing when we get back. But we haven't heard a word about ICAST. That's a long ways off. Fingers crossed, we're both planning on going as of right now. And if that changes, we will be sure to let everybody know. As of right now, that's still a go. That's not until July. So, Lord willing, we'll all be through all this mess by then. If not before, we'll keep our fingers crossed and keep y'all updated.
If we're not done with this by July, we'll have some bigger issues.
Yeah, you're right. You're
exactly.
Right. All right, that's good, Matt. That's what we like to hear. So Matt Newman said, I feel like I just sat through a class with physics professor Thrift.
Oh, yes.
And, guys, you have no idea, and we're so excited to be able to talk more about the opportunity y'all will have coming up soon for things like Thrift just did. And we're gonna
that was just a snippet.
That was a snippet in Jeff's term.
Just a little teaser, a little taste.
Yeah. Jason Land, you are more than welcome. Said, want to say thanks for the hat. I actually saw, that might have been on your Facebook page. I saw it might have been on Carolina Elite Series or something like that. I saw a weigh-in posted. Jason, you can answer my question might have been the Baden Lake tournament, and I saw a young child there. It was a 10-year-old Wyatt, and he was wearing a LTF hat signed by Hank that we gave away on the show. That's what we gave away when Hank was here. I couldn't remember. Signed T-shirt and Hank, and he was stoked and couldn't believe it, and it was awesome. And glad to see him supporting the LTF brand and out there enjoying some good time on the water, because now is as good as any to be out there.
It is good
enjoying
time
the
to
creation.
Fish are moving up. They're biting.
That's
go
right.
Fishing. Everybody go fishing.
That's right. All right, so we are. Let's.
Coming up on question time.
Jeremiah had a question for both of us. With MLF and Bass Live, is it now pretty much impossible to keep these little tips and tricks in your book of secrets? No, not necessarily, Jeremiah. I mean, you can only see. Here's the thing about Bass Live and MLF, and yes, some of the guys are better than others at explaining what they're doing and doing this and doing that, but you can never really climb inside their head and dissect exactly what that lure's doing in the water, the modification like Brian just made. There's a lot of things out there that you're still not going to learn from watching that live tournament coverage.
Yeah, and you just see them throwing the bait. You don't hear the why and how they did it, and
there's guys out there that break it down pretty well, but let's be honest, when we're in a tournament situation trying to win whatever it may be,
sometimes we may not talk as much as we should. I've been trying to get better about that.
But if you compare it to what you did just now, you got your mind on one thing.
Yes.
And that's teaching people exactly how to rig a line through swim bait. So there's a big difference there. You pick up on a lot more of the details when it's an exclusive video teaching techniques as opposed to being out there in the midst of a tournament. So, all right. One or two more questions, and then we're going to rock on with the trivia. Best bait, Tony Lawson wants to know best bait for red clay mud water.
Red clay muddy water.
You give one and I'll give one, Thrift.
I got to go with the BTC 60 crankbait and a chatterbait. I got to throw two. I'm sorry.
I said you get one. I'm going to go, and this is funny because, and this is a bait, actually Arnold Ledford, the late Arnold Ledford that used to, some of the local guys know who I'm talking about. He used to run the Thursday Nighters over here on Moss. He used to make these spinner baits for me back in the day, and you can still buy them. There's companies out there that make them, but I would throw a red skirted spinner bait with an orange head, with orange blades on it, and a blue sapphire single grub tail trailer. Ugliest thing you've ever seen in your life.
I remember that.
And when it got red chocolate milk, red clay mud, I could crush them on that thing. It had red turtle shell blades on it, Colorado front blade and a turtle shell back blade. And those, I say red, they were actually fluorescent orange.
Yeah, fluorescent. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
And so I'm gonna go with that red spinner bait with those fluorescent orange blades, and and I don't know why I threw a blue sapphire trailer just to give it a little different flash or color, but I used a blue sapphire grub on the back and crushed them on that thing in muddy water. But if it's that muddy, if it's true chocolate milk, a square bill like Brian's that displaces a lot of water, has a good wide wobble, that's as good as anything.
Something that's visible and something they can feel. I think feel is the most important thing, be it a big bladed chatterbait, the big bladed spinnerbait like Matt's talking about, the big hard thumping crankbait. Just something they can feel is what you want in that extremely muddy water.
All right, so we got a couple really good questions. I hate to not address these, so I'm going to throw them in here. All right, so two more questions, guys. And one is from Jim. He said, notice the other day several of my frogs all have the same belly color, but different colored tops. Does the top of the frog color matter at all? So I'm going to give you my 2 cents on it. Thrift can agree to disagree, or he can agree.
I'll probably agree because I don't think there's but one train of thought here.
All right, so the belly side is the business side. The top of the frog, to me, does not matter at all. Now, the leg color can matter a little bit, but I think that the top color of the frog is what sells it. I think the bottom color of the frog is what catches your fish. Now, that being said, I keep frogs with I have 3 frogs in my boat. I have one that's got a yellow bottom, I have one that's got a black or brown bottom, and I have one that's got a white bottom, okay? And that's it. So I don't buy 47 frogs that all have white bottoms because there are 6 different frog colors that have white bottoms out there. Now, that's my 2 cents on it. I like something with a dark. I like something with a really, really bright, and then I like something that's kind of a natural white color. Thrift?
Exactly. I mean, I figured that's what you were going to say, and I'm the same thought process. Something white, something black, and something kind of natural, and that's it. That's all you need.
Yep. So don't
if you think about it, a frog, like if you look at a walking bait like a Papa or Demiki D-Pop or Demiki Rambler or any other walking bait, even a spook or whatever, when you're working those baits, you get a lot of belly rolls. So that bait's rolling to the side, and fish can actually see the side and the top of it. So with those baits, you get more of a flash from that back color that they can see it. But with that frog, it's not rolling over on its side as it's walking.
Unless you cut one leg shorter.
No, even then, it's still not rolling. So with that, bottom color is all you need to focus on. Like I've never seen an instance where the color mattered on the back of a walking bait, but I could see it potentially having a different effect because it does roll a little bit, and they can see that little bit of flash when you walk it and twitch it and stuff.
All right, last question. This from Roger Love. Do either of you use scent sprays? And the reason I want to address that because I did see a question that may come from Roger earlier.
Yep.
Somebody asked, what was that pink stuff you were putting? Was it smelly jelly?
That was smelly jelly.
Okay, so tell them what you were using. Somebody want to know what the pink stuff was you were putting on whatever it was.
All right,
wherever you
so
were.
at Okeechobee, while I was in the process of not catching anything, this is something I started doing a couple years ago when I was flipping grass and things like that. Just anywhere it was real thick cover, is I started putting smelly jelly on my bait, and I don't think I like. Yeah, it does smell good. It smells like garlic. Makes me hungry all day, but I was doing it more for like it makes the bait slicker. It lubricates it. I feel like it helps it go through cover better, and it just that's what I do with it.
That's the first time I've ever seen this comment. Bradley Dennis said he catches them on white frogs in North Carolina and black frogs in South Carolina.
Where at?
Specifically, I've seen color matter. Like one time, we ran an experiment one time with a Demiki air frog at Clear Lake with one of my Demiki videos. And so it was me, Corey. Me, Daniel, and Corey were all in the same boat, all three of us throwing an air frog. And I was throwing a white one, Daniel was throwing a green pumpkin one, and Corey was throwing a black one. And Corey's in the middle of the boat, and he's like kicking me and Daniel's butt, like getting way more bites, noticeably more bites. So we put him in the back of the boat just to see. And, dude, he wore us out from the back of the boat throwing that black frog with me throwing a white one and Daniel throwing the green pumpkin, fishing the same exact spots like we were purposely covering everything, and he was making sure he made the same cast we did just to see if it was really that big of a difference in color. And they were biting a black frog that day 10-1 over any other color. So there are instances where color can make a huge difference. Well, actually, another thing on top of that, this was something the first time I'd ever actually done it myself at Lake Fork last week. I'm going down a pocket throwing a frog. I'm throwing a brown frog, and I go all the way through the pocket, never get a bite, and I'm get to the back of it, and I'm like, all right, I need to go somewhere else. A lot of stumps, so I kicked the trolling motor on high coming out, and I had a white frog on the deck too. And I'm like, I'm going to throw this white frog on the way out just because I can fish it fast and hit targets. Trolling motor on high, fishing through water I just fished, and caught 4 in 10 minutes on a white frog, fishing behind myself with a brown frog.
Interesting.
So, there you go.
Bradley said that was Broad River, North Carolina, and Lake Blaylock in South Carolina. So
there you go.
That was his advice on white and black frogs. All right, so we are rolling up on that time.
Daniel said he remembered that day.
Yes,
he remembers
I'm telling
that
you.
day.
It was amazing, like the difference. Like I'm in the front deck hitting everything I can with a white air frog. Daniel's in the middle throwing a green pumpkin air frog, hitting everything, and then Corey's in the back catching all the fish on a black one.
Logan Taylor. So, because we ran out of time tonight, guys, we apologize. We're gonna cut the show because
we'll be back next week.
We will be back next week. We plan to be in studio.
We got a lot of free time.
Yeah, and Logan, I will tell you this: there is an episode, and it's on YouTube because I saw it. That we did on frog fishing, and it's been a while, but you'll have to search back through the episodes. But Logan, I'm sure Logan's one of our regular viewers. He's probably already subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you'll go on YouTube and find that frog show, it's got a lot of good frog fishing tips, and one of them is talking about exactly what you asked about.
I think it's called All About Frogs or something like that.
Frog Fishing 101 or All About Frog Fishing. Yeah, something like that. But
who did that?
Logan Taylor was asking some questions about it. We have a show that we did that was all about frog fishing.
We did.
We were still in the old studio.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of good insight in there about gear setups, rod and reel setups, techniques,
if
cadences.
It's not on YouTube. It's definitely back in our Facebook videos.
No, it's on you. I'm 99% sure it's on YouTube. I saw it the other day. So, all right, guys, it's trivia question time, and for once, Thrift came up with the trivia question, and
I did. Yeah.
What?
I just feel like you're getting ready to give the answer away.
He is.
I'm
just
not.
let him go.
Okay.
Let him go.
I'm going to turn it over to Thrift.
Okay.
I've got to ask it.
He gets to ask the trivia question. Jeff's in charge of the answer.
Do you know the answer, Jeff?
Matt?
Yes.
No. Everybody write this down. Matt has absolutely nothing to do with the trivia question tonight, including the answer.
Unless whoever sees the answer first
I'm not addressing anything.
Can't
I'm
call
going to keep my mouth shut.
All right,
once,
I thought you determined the winner. So
it's hard. We got when we set that rule.
He didn't know how to read.
We had 150 viewers. Now we have 350 viewers.
Okay, so whichever of the three of us sees the correct answer first, will determine the winner.
And this is for a BASS membership. Tonight we'll
exactly Matt Newman. That's what I was talking about.
We're going to come up with some more goods next week. We'll have something good to give away.
Yeah, we'll have
week,
another. I think I got another Catch Commander scale. We'll do it.
I tell you what,
we'll give one of those away too.
You sure you got one?
Pretty sure.
All right, next week's show trivia giveaway. We've got a Catch Commander scale, compliments of Thrift, which is a really, really nice. I actually use one myself.
Yeah, great scale.
It's a great scale. And I've had a lot of people ask me where they can buy these Toyota hats, the camo Toyota hats, the two-tone camo Toyota hats. And I talked to some guys the other day, and we're going to get a little group of them together, get them signed for y'all, and get them sent out. So let's add one of those camo Toyota fishing hats in on that giveaway next week. So
How
next
about
week,
your big head? You going to give that away ever?
I mean, why? Ow! God, that looks good, doesn't it?
Who wants Matt's big head?
Who wants my fat head?
Who wants Matt's autographed?
You know what this would be good for?
Fat head.
Since Matt's going to take
Scott
me turkey
fan.
hunting, I could check my pattern out with this, couldn't I?
Yeah, you could.
It'd be perfect.
Who wants Matt's autographed fat head?
Why do you want to shoot at my face? I mean, that's awful, dude. It's awful. But we're gonna toss in a signed Toyota fishing hat next week. We're gonna also toss in a Catch Commander scale, and we'll add in a Bass membership next week. Next week's
gonna be a good show.
It's gonna be a good one. So tonight, just a Bassmaster membership. Apologies, we don't have more, but we will get more for next week's show. We promise.
Yes.
And
Emily says she wants your big fat head. It looks good.
Emily said she wants my.
See,
big
you need
fat
to
head.
hang
It
that
looks
up
good.
in your shop.
Well, there's one person that likes it. You know.
Well, she
That
didn't
look
have all
good
those
in your
words there.
shop.
I added the big fat part.
We've got more at the house.
Okay.
They brought
Gotcha.
back the ones they had at the class.
Okay.
I don't even know how that one ended up here, as a matter of fact.
I don't either.
You put it in here. You
I
love
didn't.
it. You love it, don't you?
I
You
did
like
not.
He
looking
does.
at it.
He
Yeah.
probably lays it on his pillow at night.
All right, we got to get on to the trivia question after that comment. All right, here we go. Thrift, take it.
All right, trivia question. I
You
forgot what it was, so gonna read it.
He's taking my paper.
All right, so my first year on the Bass Pro Tour, how many scoreable bass have I weighed in the 3 MLF events combined? So all year long, how many scoreable bass have I caught this year? 3 events: Lake Eufaula, Lake Okeechobee, and Fork. Wow. So go ahead and start.
Here we go.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. He just tagged a comment. Mackenzie Brooke Newman said, "Matt Newman, this is your wife. Stop ignoring my phone calls. I know you're on here."
That's pretty good.
Well, no comment. I don't want to get Matt or Mackenzie more riled up.
Everybody must be Googling. I hadn't seen one answer yet.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Jared Albright wants to know where you get the Catch Commander scales, by the way.
You can find the Catch Commander scales pretty much online. You can find them at catchcommander.com. A lot of retailers are starting to carry them. If you'll just Google Catch Commander scales, you can find them. Trying to think where they're at for sure. I don't know if Sportsman's Warehouse has them yet. I think they do. I'd try there. I know Fitzgerald Fishing has them for sale. There's lots of places that are starting to carry them.
Scott Fell said he thinks we should give away a badge to ICAST.
I got to get a badge at ICAST.
I
don't think we can do that anyway.
Buddy Black, you need to go shoot or arrest somebody. That's a friend of mine. He's a police officer. Friend of ours. He's a police officer.
I got an answer.
And
I just need to make sure it's the first one I see.
And that's the problem. He's sitting in his cop car over there in the donut shop parking lot. I'm calling you out,
on
buddy.
my feed is Ryan Love.
And he's just punching in numbers.
Well, call it out because I don't
wrong,
see that.
buddy. You're wrong.
The first one on my phone is Ryan Love, 65.
All right, Jeff's called it. Congratulations, Ryan. Buddy Black has answered a lot. A lot.
That's because he literally has nothing else to do.
Dude, this is weird because I've got like 50 answers on my feed, but it's from the same 3 people.
Yeah, I got that too.
I don't know if anybody
Everybody's
else.
feed's
I
different.
think something went awry right there. But
Yeah.
Jeff determined the winner.
Jeff determined the winner. Ernie Wallace said he only sees his answers. I bet you do, Ernie. So Ryan, I believe's won a trivia before. Ryan, if you're already a member of Bass, you can pass that on to somebody else. But I need whoever you're passing it on to or whoever it's for, I need their name and address and information. So you know the drill. Just message us all that information so we can get them signed up. And I believe
the correct answer was, I don't think, what was it? 65.
Buddy responded to me.
65 was
he
the
said
correct
he's actually
answer.
off.
Only
Matthew
2
Gary.
of them came from Okeechobee. So
That's what we were
That's
laughing.
what we were laughing about. You gave away part
You
of
gave
the
away
answer
part of the
earlier
trivia question
when you
like
said
5
only
minutes
caught 2
into the
bass
show.
at Okeechobee. So that knocked out 33% of their research.
that's fine. That's fine.
So I'm not the only one that gives away.
I didn't give the
trivia
whole answer.
answers. No, you
Just
didn't.
part of the answer.
All right, so we got a winner, Ryan. You know the drill. Like I said, send us your information, and we plan to beat Wendell. Leonard said he put 56, but he's dyslexic. Sorry,
Jeff, you should know that. You should have
That's
knew that.
funny.
Andrew Alexander. That's what I like to see. He may have been the ones that messaged me asking where they can purchase, and unfortunately the hats aren't available for purchase. But I tell you what, I'm gonna get a little gang of them together and start giving some more away. So we'll have all kinds of cool stuff to give away in the coming weeks because we will be right here.
Yeah,
obviously
we'll
we
get
can't go anywhere else. So
We'll get some good giveaways and we'll come up with some good stuff. And as always, if there's any topics y'all want to hear us talk about or have us touch on, shoot us a message and we'll do something with it. Come up with something.
we'll answer it.
We'll answer
it. But all right, y'all. So in the meantime, we'll plan to see y'all next Tuesday. We'll all be in town, and when we can't go fishing,
Talk fishing.
we'll talk fishing.
From 6 feet away.
See y'all next week.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Fish. Visit our private Facebook group to continue the conversation, post your questions, and talk with other fellow anglers at facebook.com/groups/Let's Talk Fish. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk Fish Official and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exclusive content. Join us again next episode for more actionable tips, tactics, and techniques directly from the pros. And remember, when we can't go fishing, we're going to sit right here and talk fish.